2019 marked the 150th anniversary season of the Cincinnati Reds. The events and promotions that the team had planned more than surpassed the hype, and the offseason moves that the team made generated a ton of buzz among Reds country. But what about the play on the field? Was 2019 a memorable season, or was the 150th year of the Cincinnati Reds one that Reds country would like to forget? Let's take a look. The Red Legs finished with a record of 75 and 87, good enough for 4th place in the NL Central, an improvement of where they had finished the last couple years in which they had finished at the very bottom of the division. The Reds started the season with a thrilling opening day win against the Pittsburgh Pirates, and that would actually be the last time they were over the 500 mark. They went on a horrible losing streak, and during the season they would flirt with getting back to 500 and getting over 500, but they would never quite get there as they would always fall into another losing streak. Mediocre and underachieving is how I would describe the Cincinnati Reds team. Let's start with the pitching staff. In the beginning of the year, the bullpen was a very valuable asset, but that trend quickly reversed toward the midway point of the season. In the beginning of the year, the starting rotation will often rely on the bullpen to get them out of jams, and more often than not, the bullpen delivered. The starting rotation, however, despite that slow start, bounced back. Luis Castillo was the only starting pitcher in the beginning of the year who was dominant, although he kind of tailed off at the end of the season. Sonny Gray, on the other hand, had an opposite trend. He found his groove right before the All-Star break and was the best pitcher in the Reds rotation to close out 2019. Tyler Mahle had a bit of an underwhelming year, and Anthony DeSclafani seemed to find his groove back on the pitcher's mound again as well. New addition Tanner Roark was decent before the Reds traded him at the trade deadline, and Trevor Bauer, who the Reds acquired from the Cleveland Indians in a trade that also involved Yasiel Puig and top Reds prospect Taylor Trammell, was either really bad or really good. No in between. Hopefully he can correct that moving forward. Alex Wood, who the Reds acquired along with Yasiel Puig and Matt Kemp during that trade with the Dodgers that saw Homer Bailey leave Cincinnati to go to LA, only pitched a few games for the Reds due to injury, and there was a race and debate among Reds country as to whether or not the Reds should bring back Alex Wood for the 2020 campaign. Going back to the bullpen, as I said, in the beginning of the season, they were a very valuable asset, while at the end, they became more of a liability. David Hernandez is a perfect example of this. In the beginning of the year, he was pretty clutch, locked down the opening day win, and was solid coming out of the pen for the Red Legs. However, he fell into a pattern of blowing leads, and eventually the Reds just had to cut him. Another familiar Reds bullpen pitcher, Jared Hughes, was traded for the end of the year, and closer Raisel Iglesias, who had been steady in years past, sending him to the mound was more like a roll of the dice. He was either going to close it down or blow the lead and the game. Michael Lorenzen was transitioning from a just bullpen dude to a guy who could play the outfield, bat in the lineup, pitch, whatever the Reds needed him to do. And when he did pitch, he was usually pretty solid. Amir Garrett, on the other hand, was probably my favorite Reds bullpen pitcher of the year. He was solid throughout 2019, and his attitude and his fire, especially against the Pittsburgh Pirates, endeared him to a ton of Reds fans in Cincinnati. The hitting for the Red Legs this year was a bit of a mixed bag, which was kind of surprising considering the names they had in that lineup. Derek Dietrich started the season as the hottest hitter on the Reds team before cooling off significantly at the end of the season. While he was swinging a torch to start 2019, his bat was ice cold to close out the year. Joey Votto also had an unusually down year, and Scrooge Jeanette was relatively quiet after coming back from his injury. The biggest shocker, in my opinion, was Jose Iglesias being the team's best hitter, as he was very consistent with making contact at the plate. Eugenio Suarez was also the team's best power hitter, as he flirted with 50 home runs throughout the 2019 season. Aristides Aquino and Nick Senzel, two of the Reds' young rookies, they proved to provide a little bit of a spark at the plate. Aquino was by far the biggest story of the Reds in the summer, as he was named the August Player of the Month for the National League, and he routinely hit home runs when he first came up. It was an amazing sight to behold. However, the offensive side of the Red Legs was just too inconsistent that the Reds hitting coach Turner Ward was let go once the season reached its end. Fielding was pretty consistent for the Red Legs in 2019, and I generally have no complaints about it. Standout player for me on defense for the Reds was Jose Iglesias, as he routinely dazzled with amazing Gold Glove rookie plays at the shortstop position. So where did the Reds go from here? Well, they finished in 4th place, which is definitely an improvement, as that was the first time they had finished in a position other than last since 2014. However, there are some key issues that still need to be addressed by the Reds front office. The bullpen, who will be the 5th arm in the starting rotation, Joey Votto's down year, those are a couple big question marks hanging over this team as the offseason approaches. Will they go out and try and make a trade or get a big free agent signing? Only time will tell. What appears to be clear, though, is that 2020 looks to be the year that the Reds finally push the chips to the middle of the table. The rebuild appears to be over. Could a World Series championship be in the Reds' future? Only time will tell. Thanks for watching.